98.3 FM.
Welcome on board the Morning Express.
Good morning. You are listening to the Morning Express on Mainland 98.3 FM. Good morning.
Yes, good morning once again, and welcome to Trends in the Papers on 98.3 Mainland FM. Well, the sound of Lagos. Today is Wednesday, 14th February 2024. Today is also Ash Wednesday for a lot of Catholics and Anglicans. Signifies the beginning of the Lent season. That's the season of fasting and just keeping yourself and be sanctifying yourself, I guess. Aside from that, it also happens to be Valentine's Day, St. Valentine's Day, where everyone all around the world celebrates love, or yes, one way or the other. And I hope that one way or the other you'll be able to show love to someone. It doesn't have to be a significant other. It doesn't even have to be a family member, but it could be a family member, it could be a friend. Just try to, do something nice, do something really, really nice, something beautiful that will put a smile on someone's face today. All right. Just, try to, pay some sort of kindness forward to someone out there. All right. My name is Omobola Sandra. Let's look through the major stories trending on the front pages of our dailies. But before that, I won't be doing this show alone. I'll be having Fuad Sahid joining in via the phone line to give analysis to the stories that we're going to be treating this morning. Good morning, Fuad. How are you doing? Stay with me. Hello? Hello? All right. Well, not to worry, but I'm sure it's just a little hitch here, but it'll all be resolved very soon. So yes, as I was saying earlier on, we'll be looking through major stories trending on the front pages of our dailies. It promises to be an interesting run. We'll do this up until 8:30, and then by 8:30 we'll take a short break. By 8:40 we are back for Mainland Focus. And that is the part where we get to select two or more major stories off the front page of our dailies and try to flesh things out, put some spotlight on it for you, our dear listener, to join the conversation. All right. You can either join us via Facebook or the phone line, or even send a WhatsApp message. It's going to be an interesting one, so you may want to stay tuned. Today is Wednesday, so the conversation is going to be amazing today, all through the day. By 10 a.m., we have the Big Talk. By 1 p.m., we have Midweek Politics with Sahid Fuad and Okwemi Akiondi. And by 4 p.m., you'll be with Sage Papalola in the Situation Room. Hello, Fuad.
Yeah, good morning, Sandra. Can you hear me?
Yes, it's so much better now. Can you hear me?
Yeah, perfect.
All right, thank you very much. Happy Valentine's Day to you, Fuad.
Happy Valentine's Day to you too and all our listeners.
Yes. Why are you laughing? Are you not happy to celebrate Valentine's?
Oh, of course. Love comes with happiness. So,
oh, yes.
It's a good day to celebrate love. So, happy Valentine's Day to everyone out there who has found a way to celebrate love one way or the other.
Thank you very much, Said Fat. So, let's get on with our story.
That message is not romantic enough.
Yeah, you tried, you tried. It was a little bit political, but
it's old school thing.
but old school love was so much beautiful, and people feel like back then, you guys knew how to play the love the real.
What you guys? Am I part of the old school? No.
Are you Gen Z? Are you a millennial? No, you're not. You're not. You're neither a Gen Z nor are you a millennial. So you're probably a boomer.
So you think we celebrated love better than what
I
what you guys have now?
I believe so, because there's a lot of lip service now. People just give gifts, but what's in their hearts is far from what is on their lips.
You are saying?
Yes,
Okay.
that's what we see now. It's just really unfortunate, but
But we should keep safe out there, because again, a lot, in trying to express love, celebrate love. Like you said, I think there are too many illusions. But I think we should just find a way to celebrate love, and I think there'll be a big difference and circumspect about it.
About I really don't know about celebrating love, though. I mean, with the cost of living that is skyrocketing every day now, I mean, I'm sure that there are economical ways with which you can celebrate love without having to
Definitely.
spend so much money or going out of your way. Yes. All right. Well, let's see what we have. Speaking of cost of living, that is the major headline on the front page of the Punch newspaper this morning. Cost of living. Federal government and NLC meeting deadlocked. Bakers threaten shutdown. And there are riders to that. We have strike will go ahead. Federal government negotiations not fruitful. NLC leaders insist. Federal government warns against unrealistic demands as labor seeks yearly pay rise. So, a meeting between the federal government and organized labor to stave off the planned strike by the NLC and TUC. Remember, sometime earlier this week or last week, they gave a 14-day strike notice. Exactly. So, the Minister of State for Labor and Employment, Mrs. Nkiruka Onyejocha, hosted that parley, could not convince the unions to suspend the strike for February 23rd. And according to this report as well, we have here that the Association of Master Bakers and Caterers have also threatened to down their tools by February 27 if the federal government failed to implement an agreement it entered into it with the association sometime in 2020. So basically, everybody is upset, or a lot of people are upset with the federal government due to implementation of agreements. I remember some 2 years or so ago, Fuad, the 8-month-long strike with ASU was due to implementation of an MOU that was entered into as well, some years prior to that particular, strike action. Yes, exactly. So the issue of implementation of agreements is one thing that we also need to look at. It is why do we see it so easy for the federal government to go into agreement with people to stave off strike actions, and then when it comes to implementation, they're not forthcoming. And now NLC and TUC insisting that they're going to go ahead with their 14-day strike action. And also the handling of this issue by Mrs. Nkiruka Onyejocha, the Minister of State, Labor and Employment, who, unfortunately is on her own now since Simon Lalong has gone back to the National Assembly.
Well, Sandra, I saw pictures, I saw videos, and I'm like, how would this meeting even start? How are they going to be able to resolve everything now? Again, apart from the current economic crisis, which has been, aggravated seriously by a lot of past policies of government, let me just put it that way. There was an agreement that was signed between the government and the organized labor in October. Remember that at that time, labor was even going to lose a lot of solidarity from ordinary Nigerians who had thought that, look, you guys should just threaten strike. The government calls you to a meeting, they quickly drop an agreement with you guys, and then the next thing you have agreed and you have called off the strike. You understand what I'm saying? So in October, a lot of people have heavily criticized organized labor for always falling for the antics of government. Anytime there's a strike action threat, the government calls you to a meeting, they come up with draft resolutions and agreements to sign, they promise to implement those agreements, and then everything ends. And I'm surprised that, look, the list of that agreement, I think we have reviewed it several, Sandra. You remember that there was supposed to be a joint committee between organized labor and government to inspect, the progress of work at the Port Harcourt refinery. There was supposed to be 20,000 naira cash handout to vulnerable Nigerians. Yes, there was supposed to be 35,000 wage award, PNG buses. You remember?
There's a lot. There was a lot.
And the government was very happy and fast to sign that agreement at that time. But I'm shocked that they don't be able to implement any of those agreements. Before the one they started, they've not been able to do properly. And I thought that was going to probably be the simplest of all of the agreements, which was the wage award for federal government workers. The wage award for federal government workers, 35,000 naira. I think they've only been able to collect it twice.
Yes.
Even their salaries are not even coming out and when due.
January has still not been paid.
So, I'm like, what's going on? And the excuse of government, I keep saying it, as a country untenable. It's difficult. Sometimes I don't envy Joe Ajaero and people. Because again, as the leader of organized labor at this trying time for your members, you go into negotiation, you're like, what do I go back to tell my people? What am I going to go back to tell my members that we've been able to achieve now? Because the body language of government, their statement is always be calm down with us, things are tough. But on the other side, you see what they are doing and it doesn't correspond with what they are telling you. The appropriations, the kinds of money that they are giving to themselves, the way they take care of themselves, does not correspond with what they are telling you. So, again, I don't know. I know, look, I said it standard that, look, I'm even waiting for the minimum wage committee to start it. And I want to see how they are going to be able to achieve anything. Now, this meeting is not about minimum wage. It's about
it's about the agreements, yes.
So, again, it's left for, because again, if I was there, the only thing I would have asked is that we don't need to start any round of discussion again. Can we just print out the agreement we had in October? And then government representatives tell us which one you have been able to implement and why you have not implemented it. Or why the way you have implemented, let us know. This kind of meeting does not require too much English. We had an agreement in October. You signed that you are going to implement this thing. And there were clear timelines to this thing. Why have you not been able to do it? And it's not because, like you asked me, why is it that government goes into agreement with organized labor and they are not able to implement? It is because it's all motion without movement. At the point when they are going into those agreements, it is just, what they call bargain and see me, let's just do something. So let's just, if we don't implement, they'll come back again, we'll start talking again. But we cannot continue to talk. Nigerians cannot continue to talk. It is the same idea of failing to implement agreements with labor. That is the same reason why they are not even able to implement or fulfill any of the promises they made to the people during campaign. You understand what I'm saying, Sandra? The same attitude of sitting down with organized labor to draw up agreements and not implement it is the same attitude they put towards the promises they make to people when they are campaigning. It is because it is all just talk without any substance. They have not been able to think any of those things through. Let's just get them excited. Let's just make the headlines. And then when it comes to implementation, there's no dedication to it. They are not intentional about it. So again, it is clear for labor to now ensure that those things are implemented, because I don't think they put a gun to their head when they were signing those agreements. So they both
start together to make the agreement. The union and the federal government start together to have this particular agreement. Well, I mean, it is a 16-point agreement, and I don't know if any one of the 16 points has actually been looked into. But just like Fuad Said also mentioned, I think this thing is very simple, actually. What are the 16 points? So which one are you ready to do? Is it short term, medium term, or long term? Let's divide it. Let's know. I think these things are supposed to be easy, but I mean, they just make conversations like this sound very tedious, which shouldn't be. But among other things, let's not forget that the government agreed to also pay 35,000 naira to all federal workers beginning from last September, pending when a new national minimum wage will be signed into law. And the resolution provided that the wage award will be paid to federal workers for 6 months, while states are encouraged to extend the same benefits to their workers. Now let's remove states aside and all of that. Even the federal government that said, we're going to do this, has only paid September and October. November, December, January is in view, hopefully. January salary is also in view one way or the other. So aside from that, the government also pledged to make cash transfers to vulnerable Nigerians, provide 100 CNG buses, compressed natural buses to ease the high transportation cost. I mean, there's just a lot that was put into place, and there was there was an ultimatum, actually, according to the agreement that, okay, this will be done by this time, this will be done by this time and all, and nothing has been done. It says here that we signed an agreement in October that the buses will be ready to ply Nigerian roads by December last year, and this is February. I don't know, Fuad, I don't really go out that much, but have you seen CNG buses on the road? I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm just asking.
You don't. Well, you don't know our callers will tell us.
No,
yeah, it's not
I just, we can't go to all parts of Nigeria. It's federal.
No, I saw videos of CNG buses in Ogun State.
So that's why I'm saying that, maybe because, we were in Lagos, maybe some other parts of the country, maybe they already have their own CNG buses.
Wait. The CNG buses I saw in Ogun State, I think in total, I'm not sure they're up to 100. I'm not sure they're even up to 50. So let us look at Ogun State now. Let's not even take Ogun State as an example.
Okay.
You have, let's say, maybe 100 CNG buses, which I doubt anything. But let's even say you have like 100 CNG buses in Ogun State. So how are they going to deploy them into different parts of Ogun State? And is it that people will be entering for free? So will they deploy CNG buses, for example, free for local government that has no roads? Which is one of the largest local government in terms of population in Ogun State. Are they going to deploy to Yewa? You see, we are just deceiving ourselves. All of those things does not even. It's not going to solve any problem.
All right, sir.
It is the same thinking. It is the same thinking that you go and release grain at the time of serious action. Grain to birds and chickens.
All right, let's also look at this. I also got something from the report because it says here that they're advocating for a yearly review of workers' minimum wage to survive the biting economic hardship occasioned by the policy stance of the government. So, what do you think, Fuad? A yearly minimum wage?
I think it should even be every 6 months. If the government does not have a handle on the economy, it's a free fall standard. Things are happening very fast. If you understand what I'm saying. People's purchasing power gets eroded almost on a daily basis. It's not hourly basis. We are in an era where people give you quotation now, standard, and they tell you that after this minute, this is the price. You don't understand what I'm saying?
Yes, I'm with you.
Was it not yesterday we were saying that, look, just in February, import duty changed 4 times. In February alone, increased 4 times.
Yes. That's
the policy of government. So if that is the reality of Nigerians at this time, where things are skyrocketing almost on an hourly basis, a yearly review could even be a problem. So we said it can be 6 months until the government shows real determination to have a complete handle on what is happening in the country at this time. Until we do that, because again, yearly fine, but that was why I said it yesterday that look, the 1 million naira minimum wage that Organizable is talking about. Here people have said it's not realistic, it's going to cause inflation. And I've always said it that it's only the thing that concerns the poor that we argue cause inflation. The reckless spending of the political class, that one does not cause inflation. Standard. It is the thing that concerns the poor and the vulnerable that we keep arguing cause inflation. But the reckless spending, all of the SUV, purchase of SUV, those SUVs are not made in Nigeria, standard. So, and we did not import them with Naira, did we? But those ones should not cause inflation. Those ones should not cause pressure, demand pressure on dollars, on forex for the country. It is that thing that concerns the poor. So they are talking about minimum wage now, it will cause inflation. When we know that 1 million naira is so unrealistic because again they will not pay. People that cannot pay 30,000 they will be all paying 1 million naira. But again, labor must put on their thinking cap in their negotiations now. If indeed they want these negotiations to benefit their members, which are the workers. So it is what it is. I don't know whether 1 year, 6 months. The reality is that look, we must have serious discussions on how to get the government to have a proper handle on the free fall of the naira against the dollar and the collapsing economy of the country at this time.
Thank you very much, Said Fuad. Well, that story is on page 2.
Forget about the bakers. Bread is important too. Sandra.
What? Where do we start from as regards the bakers? When
you were reading the global news, incidentally my son was with me. I mean, bakers are going to go on site. No, there won't be bread again. There's no bread. So why? You don't know.
Oh my good Lord.
You're not giving why. There's no bread. There's no bread again.
Well, I mean, it's very important for us to have that conversation because it's also here that Association of Master Bakers and Caterers of Nigeria have also threatened to down their tools if the government failed to implement the agreement they entered into with them in 2020.
A lot of parents will have issues with their children because how do you explain to your child that there's no bread? Because bakers are not baking.
That's why I just try to, let's look at the angle of the fact that why is this so difficult for our government officials? It's not difficult for them to sit down and make promises, but it's difficult for them to actually hit the ground running, as someone said.
Hit the ground running towards which direction? The right or the wrong direction?
Are they even hitting the ground running?
Sandra, from Antonio, you are going to Kogi, and then you face Port Milan. Are you on the wrong or the right direction?
Maybe you want to go on sightseeing while you are
supposed to go to Kogi from Antonio, then you now face the Port Milan bridge, and then when you now go to CMS, you now say no, don't worry, when I get to Kogi, I will now find a way to use boat. Whereas you're supposed to just go through the corridor and then before you know it, I'll escape to you already in the corridor. So in the ground running is a statement that should come with a lot of scrutiny, whether you are in the wrong or the right direction.
All right, our story is on page 2 of the Punch newspaper. There's just a lot to take away from whatever is going on between the federal government and NLC. I mean, we're still trying to understand the 1 million naira, proposal for minimum wage. Here now, there's still a strike action that may or may not go forward by February 24th. But then master bakers are also, calling out or crying out that they might be, or they may also go ahead with a strike action by February 27. Bread is not something that you can keep and say that okay, you want to store in the house. So I really don't know what to do or what to say about that.
The maximum is bread can stay in the house, maybe 1 2 days maximum.
You can wrap it, in a napkin and put it in the fridge. It will stay longer. But I'm not encouraging you to do that. But I'm just saying. After I try.
But so that means we should go and store bread now. Maybe buy like 10 loaves and store.
Oh, this is very unfortunate.
You want to start holding bread again?
Holding bread.
Or panic buying bread.
Panic buying bread. You can't even panic buy bread because I don't. The heat now. I don't know if you noticed the heat now. There's this heat that's really going around now. I mean, everywhere is hot. It's really, really hot out there. You can't now. Can you imagine storing bread in that heat? So I don't know if that's the way to go. But the cost of living basically is just getting out of hand, and I think it's something that all hands should be on deck at this point now. All
power supply is so bad, Sandra. Not even at this time. Power supply is very, very bad. Very, very bad.
So you can't even store it in the fridge. This is I say you can't even store it in the fridge. So I mean, there's really no way out.
Well, there's even no power to even power the fridge.
To power the fridge. Very unfortunate here now.
And you can't even run on generator because of fuel. Who's going to be burning fuel? I thought at 15 naira per liter.
Now expensive. The fuel that caused the problem. It has now been.
So you see what is called multi-dimensional crisis.
Yes.
For the people.
Very unfortunate. The story is on page 2 of the Punch newspaper. Very quickly now, we are moving on. The Eagles have landed and they have been conferred national honors and also lands, houses. Congratulations to all Nigerians. Congratulations to the Eagles and Nigerians. I don't know. Let's imbibe the spirit of sportsmanship and also stay away from cyberbullying. I'll just leave that at that. Tinubu gives Eagles lands and houses and national honors after AFCON. That is on page 45 of the Punch newspaper. Moving on now, we also have here Buhari's signature forged to withdraw $6.2 million from CBN. And that's coming from the ex-secretary to the government of the Federation, Boss Mustafa. The story is on page 7. And he said that $6.2 million was released from the CBN in February 2023 using a forged document. So what we have is that there's a CBN official that appeared, before the court and said that 6.2 was approved by former President Buhari with
$1 million for foreign observers. I'm even shocked that we pay foreign observers. These are guys who pay themselves to do the job. But let's go on with the story, Sandra.
Thank you. All right. Well, by former President Muhammadu Buhari, former SGF Boss Mustapha, and former CBN Governor Godwin Emefiele are all complicit in that particular allegation. So now, in response to all of this, the former SGF is making statements saying that the signature was forged. Specifically, the EFCC accused Emefiele of impersonating the SGF to illegally obtain a sum of $6.2 million from the CBN. It's a very interesting, situation that we have here. Fuad, forged signature. Emefiele is still in so many brouhaha. I mean, just the other day they said his wife and some of his associates were also picked up, and here we are now, forged signature of the president of the country.
Sandra, this is the biggest one so far. We've been having these issues of investigation of the CBN under Godwin Emefiele. But this particular testimony in court yesterday by the SGF Boss Mustapha come as the biggest one for me, because we didn't just say that the signature was forged, but that memo never got set. You don't understand what I'm saying? That particular memo of releasing $6.2 million for the payment of foreign observers from the last election, he has never even seen that letter before. And know what I mean, Sandra? So for me, I think so far in that investigation there have been others, but when it comes to serious indictment, this is probably the biggest for me against Godwin Emefiele and how the CBN was run on that day. You understand what I'm saying? Because I think that foreign observers have NGOs sponsoring them, they have foreign missions sponsoring them. You understand? So when they come in to do the job as part of their foreign missions and all of that. So today to pay them $6.2 million for coming to observe our election, what are we doing really? And now it is said that money came as a result of forced signature of the president and sent to the government of federation. Well, there's still a case in court. I think we just continue to see how this ends. But I think it's a very big one against Godwin Emefiele. I will see how it's going to defend itself against it.
Thank you very much, Said Fuad. Very, very, explicit analysis as always. I mean, what Boss Mustapha said, and I'm quoting, is all through his service here as SGF, he never came across these documents claimed to have been signed by Buhari. From the face value of the documents, having served for 5 years and 7 months as SGF, this document did not emanate from the president for the following reasons. He said, 1. A correspondence that has the seal of the Nigerian president does not carry a reference number. The seal in itself is the authority. Secondly, looking at it and reading the document, FEC decisions, that's the Federal Executive Council decisions, are not transmitted by letters. They are transmitted through extracts after conclusions are adopted. Thirdly, he is the custodian of FEC, that's the Federal Executive Council. The president will not refer executives' conclusions to him as SGF. Also, in all his years of service, he has never heard of the term special appropriation provision referred to. He said the term known to him is appropriation, as provided by the Appropriation Act, which is normally passed by the National Assembly.
And it have been captured. Yes, it have been well captured.
Exactly. And when, if there's a gap or not, or there's a need for a gap or anything, there's a supplementary appropriation.
Supplementary budget to take care of it, yes.
Thank you. So in all correspondences that I've received from Buhari, it has never had, please accept the assurance of my highest regard. And seriously, it was very, very explicit. And lastly, looking at the signature, it is a failed attempt at reproducing Buhari's signature. I will leave that to the experts. So forensic experts, you can go through and look through that. So, and he also said that the federal government has no business with foreign election observers.
I told you.
Yeah, that's what they said, and I'm quoting here. Nigerian government has no business with foreign election observers. I've managed 2 election cycles, and I know that for a fact. INEC has the sole responsibility for that. So it's just said a whole lot. So there's a lot to take away from that particular report. It's on page 7 of the Punch newspaper. We also have here.
God help him,
God help him. Seriously, at this time now. And his wife and his associate. Stop laughing, Fuad. It's not fun. You laughing. It's all right. Okay, we also have here. Track bandits with biometric systems. Senate tells security chiefs. I don't know why I had to get to this point, but I mean, Fuad, just very quickly, the Senate has to tell security chiefs to use biometric system to track bandits.
Biometrics. We talk about NIN and all of these data capturing we've done as a country. And it's still a mystery that bandits are making calls, they are receiving ransom, and we are not able to use the deployment of these biometric data we captured to track them. So if we need to invest more in technology, the police recently, we read the story where the police have said that, look, the subscription for their tracking device had expired. So they always wait for the DSS to help out. So I think those are the issues we should quickly sort out. You understand what I'm saying, Sandra?
Yeah.
I agree that, look, technology can help to fight insecurity. In fact, all over the world, insecurity is fought in a way that has become more of using technology. You don't really find, I always say 24th century security is not about putting people at the back of one e-locked vehicle and then putting AK-47 in their hand. You have to be ahead of criminals with technology, with intelligence data. So I agree that, look, we can begin to deploy technology, tracking devices and all of that, to fish out these criminals. But it has to happen with us being very intentional about it. Because again, part of what the Senate has said yesterday was that they were going to be, directing, telling the president to begin to release money, to the military and the police to fight insecurity. Again, we have to look at the issue of corruption. Because we throw money into these things, are we sure we're going to get any result from it? You understand what I'm saying? So it has to be holistic. I buy the idea that we should look at technology in fighting insecurity. Because that's what happens all over the world. It's not really about putting men in the field or putting AK-47 in their hands. Technology can be, if I in some countries, Sandra, you know that you don't even see police like that. But you commit a crime, you know that there's police in that city. You will not see any police, you will not even know that there's a policeman around. But if there are cameras, and those cameras are working. So when you commit a crime, in 5-10 minutes, somebody is knocking at your door, somebody is beating you out. So I buy the idea of technology and biometrics and all of that, if you can do it properly.
All right. Thank you very much. Well, excuse me, the story is on page 43 of the Punch newspaper. And finally from the Punch, we have here, customers tired of estimated billing. Federal government tells discos. I wonder what exactly we're supposed to make do with that particular statement there, but that's what it says here, and it's on page 32 of the Punch newspaper. All right, that is all we're taking from the Punch. You're listening to Trends in the Papers on Mainland 98.3 FM. We're looking through major stories on the front pages of our dailies. Time check right now is 13 minutes past 8. Let's move on now to the Guardian newspaper. The major headline there says National Assembly outrage over 100 billion naira constituency projects push for 20% budget. So what we have here is the National Assembly wants 20% of the budget despite receiving at least 2 trillion naira yearly allocation for constituency budgets. Don't forget, we have 109 senators, 360 representatives, and 100 billion naira yearly allocation for constituency budget. Are we crying wolf, or is this something that we definitely need to talk about? Because just some few days or so ago, we're just talking about the fact that the National Assembly budget, Serap is taking the National Assembly budget, to quote over 344.85 billion naira. And the fact that there are so many things in that, allocation that is just ridiculous. All right. So now we have here that senators reps spend 2 trillion naira on projects in 21 years. Constituency projects spread dividends of democracy. The senators are insisting. For 20 years, I got only 100 million naira. Ex-reps member Monguno says special intervention projects budget illegal, opaque, should be scrapped, says stakeholders. So, investigation have revealed that if new proposals scale through, 20% of the national budget will be appropriated for constituency projects to help, in quote, spread dividends of democracy to all the federal constituencies in Nigeria. Why are lawmakers spending so much money for it?
Why are they handling projects?
Thank you. So many questions that just running through my head. But the first one, why are they spending so much money? Why are they handling projects, constituency projects? I thought they were there to, pass bills, make law, move motions. Yes. What exactly? The other day we were having a conversation. The fact that they said lawmakers are doing boreholes in their constituencies. Lawmakers are erecting,
lawmakers are commissioning hospitals, commissioning stadia, renovating mosques or building mosques. Lawmaker.
What exactly is going on? We have the executive, we have the judiciary.
They're supposed to be doing all of that.
So separation of powers. What's happening here for?
Okay. If you read that story, he said, look, it was an arm twist of the job of the executive, right?
Yes.
To begin to infuse what is now known as constituency projects in our corporation every year. Now, if you read that story very well, Jᴏɪᴜ, former senator, is saying that this is all just about corruption. Now, if you ask our legislators now that, constituency project, what they tell you that, it's able to engender development at the grassroots because we are able to now put this project in a different constituency. Where the monies are appropriated, and so it takes those projects to the local level, to our constituency directly, and all of that. Now, this is the real issue. If you ask them, they tell you that no, the money does not come directly to us. It is just that we ensure that these projects are captured and are implemented even still by the executive. But Sandra, let us dig into the contractors that will eventually handle those projects. Sandra, are you telling me that a legislator will fight to ensure a project is captured in the constituency and will not get interested in who handles that project and how the project is handled? You don't understand what I'm saying, Sandra? Hello?
Please come again.
Okay. The legislator now is able to ensure some particular projects are captured in the appropriation bill for its constituency under what is called constituency projects.
Yes.
And like I said, when you ask them, what they will tell you is that, look, the money does not come to us. We just ensure that the projects are implemented. But what I'm saying is that, look, is it possible for a project to be captured for a constituency of a senator and he does not get interested in the contractor that will handle the project?
That's not possible. Of course, because he's not going to be there. They're in Abuja.
Look, whether it's an allegation, whether it's whatever, what we have heard and what has been said, and the allegations have always been that, look, when the more projects are captured for your constituency as constituency projects, the more money you get, because at the end of the day, you are the one that will now bring the contractor to handle the project. And a lot of the constituency projects are not even done. You don't understand? So, the more projects you get, and that's what is being captured here, that is also around corruption. So those are also ways, allegedly. Our legislators also make money from all of these constituency projects. They will tell you they want to go and see the quality of which some of them are building under what is called constituency projects. And the contractors handling most of these projects come from there, allegedly. I'm putting allegedly, that's what people are saying. And then we need to ask ourselves, what is supposed to be the job of legislators? You want to make laws? Why are they now so interested? And what this report is now saying is that they are even fighting to ensure that, look, every year now 20% of our budget goes into implementation of constituency projects that they will eventually come and find a way to handle through their contractors and projects. Are you seeing the hand right now?
Let me also look at it from another angle now, because I also have here, because there's a justification that's coming from Senator Abdul Ningi, who is representing Bauchi Central, saying that let's not forget that in the 2003 elections, the National Assembly had 82% of non-return, which means that some of the reps and the senators, they do not come back to the House. So he attributed the reason to legislators not having projects to lay claim to as their contribution to their constituencies, and that is why they need to, have projects and things that.
Is that their job? Must they lay claim to any project? That's the problem. We run a democracy that is completely different from what it's supposed to be, and that's why all of these constituency projects that is not their personal money. So when they commission it, they put their names there. When they commission it, they put their posters. They see what is now saying. So the understanding that so we can lay claim to a project in our name. They don't use their personal money to do it. So that is the entire argument. So that they can also say, as a senator, I brought hospital to my constituency. As a senator, I built this road. Not with their money, though. And I celebrate them. Whereas, what has actually been appropriated are far bigger than what is even delivered. You understand what I'm saying? Because like I said, the allegation is that look, most of the projects are implemented by the contractors they bring, and half of the time they don't even implement some of those projects. Well, I said, how many? Look, most of the constituency projects will monitor to ensure that those projects are actually implemented.
No, but just as you rightly said, contractors come from whoever it is that is in charge of the projects, and
that's it now.
So who's going to monitor and ensure that these projects are even being done? Have you seen some constituency projects? What you hear them? Oh, they are sharing wheelbarrow in.
But that's another constituency project. We see people sharing wheelbarrows, and then you see some empowerment projects.
Yes.
But again, recently the current chief of staff commissioned several projects in Surulere. Those are constituency projects, if you understand what I'm saying. And a lot of those projects would have been captured. I suspect maybe in 2022 appropriation bill or so. But again, these projects now have its name, everything, blah blah blah, all of those kind of things. But what I'm saying is that generally the allegations that look, most of these constituency projects is a way to enrich these administrators, because at the end of the day, when they are captured, the people that eventually get the contract are their people, and it's now dependent on how they want to do, whether to deliver properly on them or not, and nobody is able to really monitor to ensure that the job is done properly. We need to ask ourselves, is that supposed to be the job of legislators?
Thank you very much. I also have here Senator Wasiu Sani Shilokun, representing Lagos Central Senatorial District, said constituency project started in Lagos State in 1999, and he said that it is a Nigerian thing. It is unconstitutional, it is illegal, but we do it because they are blackmailing the executive that if you don't give it to us, we'll not approve any other thing you bring into the budget. That's what we have here. No, sorry, that's not from Senator Wasiu. Apologies. That's from legal luminary Professor Itse Sagi, SAN. He's the one who expressed aversion to constituency project. The fact that it's a Nigerian thing, it's not legal, it's not constitutional, but it's something they do because they are blackmailing the executive that if you don't approve this,
our budget standard is rub your back, I rub your back, I rub my back. So the executive that brought all of these things for us to must also do this for us. And so what this story is even pushing is that they are even pushing more for constituency projects. It is not as if they are really committed to their constituency for them. It is because it is more goody for the boys. Because like I'm saying, there's no way those constituency projects will be done without the influence. And not even direct influence of these legislators. They are the ones that eventually handle it.
Thank you very much. Let's quickly run now. We still have a lot of stories to go. We have just less than 5 minutes left. We also have here on the front page of the Guardian newspaper, 3 firms lose 140 billion naira to naira devaluation. That's on page 15 if you want to know these 3 firms. I also have here, Lagos Assembly decries naira depreciation, suggests ways to strengthen currency. Very quickly, let's look at the suggestions that have been preferred by the Lagos State House of Assembly. They have advised the federal government and the CBN on some bold steps to take to shore up the value of the naira. And part of the resolution was that the federal government should come up with a mechanism to reduce foreign trips for seminars, conferences by ministry and agencies, adding that this should also apply to states. They also said to strengthen the security across the nation, they have called on the CBN to embark on sensitization of Nigerians on the steps being taken by the Apex Bank to reduce the pressure on the naira and the expected roles of Nigerians at this time. They also urged the depositors of dollars in banks should be engaged for an acceptable arrangement where such funds could be utilized by the government to help reduce pressure on the naira. Fuad, what are your thoughts as regards these suggestions or some of the suggestions?
There were too many suggestions on the table. It's there for the CBN to look at some of these suggestions and see how to take advantage of them. These are just suggestions. Too many experts have already been talking about how we have to find a way to dollarize our economy. Because again, there's that demand pressure. Everybody wants dollars. Mr. Fᴜʟᴜ was on TV yesterday, also giving an insight into how we can help ourselves out of this forex crisis. I think he talked about the fact that look, we need to look at the BRICS arrangement and find a way to be part of that body, because you now have people joining the BRICS arrangement to find a way to fight. You're running the economy on dollars.
On the American
you understand
dollar.
what I'm saying?
Yes.
You have Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. Yeah. So that look, what those countries have agreed is that look, we're going to run our economies, we're going to do trades amongst ourselves without having to use the dollars. We just use our own local currencies. You understand, to engender their own domestic economies and all of that. So I think we need to. I'm not claiming all of the suggestions of the state assembly. I'm just saying that look, there's more that we need to do really to help the naira, to stabilize the naira against the dollars. But ultimately, we also have to look at diversification of our economy. We need to earn more forex, whether it is dollars, euros, or pounds. There's a need for us to begin to produce, and it's not just about dollars.
Thank you.
Because again, we're just talking about naira against the dollar. There's the naira against pounds and euro.
Thank you
That
very
we're
much.
not talking about.
I mean, pounds at this time now is about 1,912 naira. At this time now, 1,900. That's pushing 2,000. But very quickly now, Fuad, I also have another story here. That one is on page 5 of the Guardian newspaper. We also have here on the front page of the Guardian. Very quickly, oil production drops, leave 2024 budget with 400,000 barrel per day deficit. You know, we had this conversation earlier on as regards, the $77 per barrel. If it was,
per barrel,
yes, if it was
that's not even the problem now, Sandra. You know, our oil benchmark for the 2024 appropriation bill, the budget assigned now, is for about 1.7 million barrels per day.
Yes.
Now we are doing about 1.4. Because whether we like it or not, about 70% of our budget performance is based on how well we are able to do when it comes to oil production. So what the report is saying is that now we are even doing about 1.4. Where the target of 1.7 we are not able to be. So it leaves us in limbo. So the deficit continues. That means we are going to have more deficit. Because now we are looking at about 400,000 barrels per day deficit from our projections to be able to run the budget. So what we are going to have is more deficit, and most likely before we run into the middle of the year, we begin to have conversations around a very huge supplementary budget again to take care of further deficits of the budget.
Okay. All right then. Well, a story is on page 3. You can get more details of page 3 very, very quickly. It is still trends in the papers. I still have about a minute left, so I'll just take that to discuss the major headline on the front page of Vanguard newspaper. It says here, hardship. Federal government tackles PDP governors and others. So what I have as riders, there's a lot of hunger and anger in the land, says governors. PDP governors are playing to the gallery, says federal government. PDP stating the obvious, APC has ruined our economy, says Labour Party. Suffering, pushing Nigeria to the brink. PDP Board of Trustees tell Tinubu. Confirms Wabara as BOT chairman, appoints McCarthy as secretary. So, just the other day, PDP made some statements, as regards...
we are on the way to Venezuela. Yeah.
Thank you. So, now there's some sort of response or so to the PDP as regards, what they said now, is that they have disagreed with the governors elected on the platform of the main opposition, saying that, excuse me here now. I think I have a lot to look through here. Okay, yes, thank you. All right, what we have here is that the APC is saying that, that the PDP is simply just playing to the gallery, and yes, there's not what facts exactly are they, working with. Yes. And there's just a lot to take away from this particular one then. But there's also a report, so I don't know if it's still in this particular report because we don't have so much time, where, we also have the fact that the APC saying, the PDP, also has a role to play in the hardship that we are currently suffering at the moment. So very, very, very quickly, for this, between PDP, APC, and also the Labour Party coming in and saying that PDP is just simply stating the obvious, that APC has ruined our economy. Just a minute, please.
Well, when it comes to party politics, it's difficult to distinguish which is which. Because you have people from APC to PDP, PDP to APC, and then of course you have governors too. These same governors in the PDP who are saying these things are also part of the problem. What are they doing in their different states? With the allocations they get every month.
That's what the Minister of Information said, that
so they are also part of the problem.
Yeah, they are not using what was allocated to them as well.
So I think that's what the APC should have been saying. That look, we agree that there's a problem, but we're also part of the problem. But it is wrong for the APC to be living in denial and saying there's no problem. You understand what I'm saying? So that's the point. If they have said that, look, we agree. The government is in a mess, you are blaming us, but we are also saying that you're also part of the problem. You have made a lot of sense if that's what they are saying. And for them to have now said that, look, they are simply playing together. No. I agree that a lot of these governors who are also on the other platform are also part of the problem. You understand? Because they have been getting allocations so that they will win in their individual states. Right. But all in all, Sandra, whether it's the APC or the PDP governors or the APC governors or the government, they are all entitled to their different opinions. But you know what they are not entitled to? Their own set of facts. What is the fact now? Nigerians are suffering. They are more impoverished than ever before. That's the fact.
Thank you, Fuad. Apologies that we had to take a few minutes off our break, but then there's just a lot to talk about. There's a lot that is going on, but not to worry. This is Milan 98.3 FM, where the conversation never ends. We'll be back by 8:40 for Milan Focus, where you get to be a part of the conversation. Stay tuned.
Milan 98.3 FM, the sound of Lagos.
Hello, my baby. How are we celebrating this Valentine?